Hey quilting friends, it's ruler of the month time and I'm here with another fun ruler and a great free pattern for you. That's right, if you're new here, ruler of the month is where I share a new quilting ruler and a new pattern on how to use that quilting ruler, and the pattern is free, but only until the next month's pattern comes out. So make sure you head to alwaysexpectmore.com/ruler of the month to check out this month's free pattern, which uses the square on square 6-inch trim tool, and this makes really simple, gorgeous square in a square blocks. You ready? Let's get started. This is the square on square 6-inch trim tool from Creative Grids, and what this does is it helps you create beautiful square in a square quilt blocks just like this, and that's what we're going to do today. So the great thing about Creative Grids rulers is that they give you a lot, if not all, of the information you need right on the ruler. And this is definitely one that gives you all that you need. It tells you that you need to cut one center square, and it tells you exactly what size. And then A1, A2, B1, B2, it tells you what size squares to cut and to cut those in half on the diagonal. I'm actually going to make a block that has a little bit bigger center, so I'm using a little cheat. I'm skipping the A1 square and the A2 square, and I'm skipping right to the B1 square as my center. And so I went ahead and cut my pieces. So I have my B1 and then my triangles and then my next set of triangles. And so you're going to have your center, you're going to cut this on the diagonal and cut this on the diagonal as well. I cut this at 3.5, 3.5, and 4.5, and then these two are cut on the diagonal to make our block. So you have your triangles, and they are way bigger than this center square, and that's okay, they are supposed to be. So you're going to stitch a triangle on either side and go ahead and eyeball the center. If you're really uncomfortable with an eyeball and you really like things to be exact, you can fold this center square in half, give it just a little finger press, and fold your triangles in half. Give that a little finger press, and then you can set it right on top here, lining up your folds, and then you know that it's perfectly centered. You don't have to do that, you can totally eyeball it, it's up to you. So that'll give you a piece that looks like this. You're gonna press these open, and then you're gonna have these tails sticking out here. I go ahead and leave the tails on until after I have stitched on the next set of triangles, and then I cut these tails off, because then I can cut them flush with my seam allowances here. And now you're gonna open this up and press this, and when it's pressed, it looks exactly like this. And now our trim tool comes in super handy. So I am lining this up with the B1 square because I went ahead and did a cheat. If you're starting from scratch, you're gonna have a smaller square with smaller triangles, and you're gonna be lining up your center square with the A1 square. So you just line up with your center square, and there is a nice line right here. And if you need a little help to see that line, you can go ahead and use your spot on dots to be able to magnify all of that. Line everything up. We've got a generous trim right there. We're gonna flip it around, line up that square again. And what I love about this B1 square is that this dotted line right here and this little corner right here line up in addition to that center square. So now we have our square done, and we're gonna add our next set of triangles, and that'll look very similar. First set of triangles right on there. Again, you can fold this in half if you want to be able to line up your triangle exactly centered with your square. I don't really worry about it. And then you have your second set of triangles, and now we're just going to give it another trim just like before, except this time we can trim all the way around this square. If you have a fancy spinning mat, that makes life a little bit easier because you can cut two sides, spin your mat, and cut the other two sides. I don't have a fancy spinning mat. I am going to use my spot on dots to line up that center square really well. Cut one side, cut the other side. I can spin, line everything up again. This time I'll be able to line up that center square, and I'll be able to line up the edges because this is the final trim on my square in a square. And there we go. It's that simple to make the square on square blocks using the square on square 6-inch trim tool by Creative Grids. Creative Grids rulers always have this QR code that you can use to scan and get instructions, but with this ruler you don't really need it because everything is right here on the ruler. It's just fabulous. And that's how simple it is to make these square in a square blocks. Wasn't that fun? Make sure you head to alwaysexpectmore.com/ruler of the month to check out the free pattern using this block right here. It is so different than anything I've done in the past, and I really hope you enjoy it. So head over there to check it out, as well as all the other fabulous ruler of the month quilts. This is month 8 that I've been doing this. There's a lot of fabulous ruler of the month quilts with a lot of ruler of the month videos that'll show you how to make these quilts. So head on over there. If you're new around here, make sure you're subscribed and you've hit that bell so that you get notifications every time I have another quilting video, because I have lots coming your way. Make sure you've liked this video, and I do check my comments. So if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave that down in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you right here real soon.